Hello, Old Man Observer here. Going to help you get started into Star Citizen utilizing a non-combat approach. Star Citizen isn't really a hard game, but it's not very intuitive. I'm going to walk you through your first journey into Star Citizen, get some easy credits to fund your further adventure into the verse. The main topics will be creating your account, buying your first ship, completing the tutorial, renting a ship, and complete some hauling missions. Along the way, there'll be tips and tricks provided. Additionally, drop by my live stream and ask for help. We have a very friendly community looking to support folks in their Star Citizen journey. Step 1. Creating your account. Be sure to use somebody's referral code. If you have a friend in Star Citizen, ask for theirs. If not, you're welcome to use mine. There's also a handy link down below in the description. Using a referral code will grant you an additional 50,000 credits in-game. Step 2. Buying a game package. When you go to the homepage, Robert Space Industries, you're going to see a bunch of stuff being advertised. It'll be whatever is the big things going on at the time and whatnot. You will have to get a game package to be able to play the game. And they don't necessarily advertise you right off the bat the cheapest game package that you can get. My advice is go to the shop, and then the pledge store, and then from there, there's a game packages link. These are the ones you'll have to buy to play the game. If you just end up buying a ship that isn't a game package, then you won't be able to play. You'll have a ship, but you just won't be able to play Star Citizen. You'll still have to end up buying a game package. Back to the game packages. There are different game packages, and some of them a little bit more involved as they provide different game loops, such as mining, which is probably a bit advanced for your first game session. We are going to start with the cheapest game package and give you tips for making easier credits that you can use to buy other ships in the game. For the most part, most of the ships available in the store are available to acquire in-game. After you have bought a game package and downloaded and installed a launcher, you're ready to play the game. Okay, so you've loaded up Star Citizen, you're ready to play. What do? So you might see this little thing in the upper right-hand corner and go, what in the world is this stuff? So, if you're recording the screens or something's happening, if you got some means of recording your play sessions, those are kind of handy when you report bugs or if you do a screenshot or something. So if you do run into an issue, someone's griefed you, someone's hacked you, your account's having problems, whatever it happens to be, the developers can scan that code and they can know a bunch of details about where you were at, what was happening, what was kind of going on. So it just makes it easier for the development team to see what's going on. If you want to turn it off, options, graphics, and then get down at the bottom and session information QR code. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to turn it off for this just because this is a pre-recorded video. If something were to happen, then I would just pre-record. You're going to see two buttons, Persistent Universe and Arena Commander. Persistent Universe is the MMO. So that's the Persistent Universe. It's MMO. It's where everybody plays and hang out. Arena Combat is basically the same engine, but allows you to practice stuff. Maybe you want to practice shooting, you got a new gun, and you want to practice using your new gun. Or you got a new type of ship, and you want to practice flying the new type of ship and shooting and stuff like that. So it's a great place to practice and kind of get a feel for the game without the heaviness of being in the universe. I don't personally go into it a lot, but it's definitely a great place to train up. So you're going to start Persistent Universe. And there we go. We're going to play the tutorial. There are times when the tutorial will bug out. And it really, really sucks. Because then you can't really do much in the game. Once you start the tutorial, you have to complete the tutorial. If you don't complete it, like what they do is they give you a different starter ship. And until you complete the tutorial, you can't access your own ships. You can't get anything else. So even though you could go around the universe and do lots of different things and people can pick you up, you have to complete the tutorial. All right, so there's different systems. Pyro, if you're new to the game, Pyro is a lawless system. It looks like they don't even let me select something here. That's interesting. That's wild. So there's something for new people. They know not to start you in pyro. So that's a lawless system. You can kill somebody and have no repercussions other than they can come back and try to shoot you. But there's not like any kind of crime system. Stanton has 4 starting locations. I've only ever started in Orison and Area 18. You'll just have to figure out what places you like over time. I almost always start at Area 18, mostly because I've learned where the shops are, so that's where I start. If you end up liking Laurelville and you know where the shops are, you can start there, or New Babbage and so forth. I'm an Area 18 guy, so that's where I always start. You can pick your region. And know that even though there isn't a server selected like World of Warcraft or anything, where once you're on server ABC, your character is always on server ABC, and you can never play with your friends if they're on server XYZ. The server is only a temporary concept at this point, meaning that's just the instance of the world that you're in right now. So you can play on any server, anytime, any location. It's just, if your buddy's playing on the EU server at that time, then you won't run into him if you're on the US and vice versa. And even on the US, you may not run into each other. You could be on different servers. But we're going to jump in, and we're just going to pick best, which for me should probably be a different server. A US server. We're going to confirm on in. There'll be a queue. Usually not a very long queue these days. So right off the bat, when you come into the tutorial, just a couple of things. In the lower right-hand corner is where it'll give you information about a lot of activities that you can be doing at that time. So right now I can look around, or I can press Y to get on my bed. F12 will close the global chat if it kind of gets in your way for this tutorial. We're going to go ahead and close it. In the lower left-hand corner is your hydration and your food, which the tutorial starting you off with those 2 elements right off the bat so they can show you how to eat and drink to address those 2 items. So we're going to press Y to get out of bed. And you can see we start out in this what they call a habitation room. And it's telling us in the right-hand corner, use F1 to access your Moby glass and select a journal from the bottom. So we're going to do F1. That's your little Moby glass, so your arm comes up, and then your journal's down here, and then welcome to the verse. You can read through all this stuff when you get in there. So we completed the first step of the tutorial, so now the text has changed a little bit. Hunger and thirst are tracked in there. So we're going to address that right now. So you can see those 2 little yellow marks. Whenever you have like a waypoint to something, they'll be marked where they are physically at. So it happens to be in this room, so it's not too terribly difficult to see. But a lot of times the waypoint could be many rooms over, and although it may be over here, you might have to go to here and go around to kind of get to it. So we're going to start what we need to do. We're going to pick up our drink here by pressing F. We're just going to tap F a little bit here. We're not going to hold it down or anything. And then you can see now in the lower right hand corner my options have changed. Drink, sip, store. So we're going to just go ahead and if you hold down the left mouse button, it will keep drinking until the bottle is empty. And then when you let go of the left mouse button, then you'll stop drinking. We're just going to go ahead and drink it all. And you can see our hydration there in the lower left hand corner is going up. And you can place it on the ground, or you can store it in whatever. Do I have a backpack? Let's see here. I don't know if I even have a backpack. Looks like they start you out with some kind of equipment here, which my core armor. So this body here has armor on it and has a little bit of some storage in here, 9K micro SCU, and this one has 6K. So if I were to left click store, and I'm pressing the I here to bring up the inventory, you can now see that this bottle is going to it. But it's empty. I don't necessarily want it. You can drag this onto your hand here, and it'll go in your hand. Or you can even drag it down. See where the hand is? So whenever you want to drop something, you just drag it to the hand, and you'll drop it on the ground. And then you can even pick something back up. And let's just say you wanted to place it a little bit more proper somewhere. So it says, you can see where it says left click place. And so I'll be like, let's just go ahead and put it right there. And then your guy will place it. Let's take care of our hunger here. So we're going to press F to pick it up. And then we can eat and store it. So if you wanted to save some food for later, you can right click and store it, but we want to eat it now. So we're going to go ahead and just hold down the left mouse button until he's done eating. And I guess he's taking care of what he could. This one doesn't, your wrapper's gone. They don't give you anything. They don't show you anything. So now it wants us to equip the helmet. You can see the markers on there. So we're just going to press F and highlight that. All right. And so you can walk around with it. But we're going to equip it. You can see now in the lower right-hand corner, it says equipped. We're going to left-click and equipped. And there we go. We are wearing our helmet. F4 is an external view. And if you want to kind of look around, if you hold the Z button, you can then look around and see them in front without the camera moving. You can see if I'm not holding the Z button, as I kind of move, my character moves. If I hold down Z, then I can, if I want to check out my guy's sharp armor, see how he's looking, there we go. And then you can even press F4 again, and it gives you a wider view. And the same thing you can do, you can zoom around on it. All right, so what do we got to do next? So now we got to open up the hab door. Ignore this for now. Wants us to open up the hab door. So this is where sometimes you have to hold the F button down and then move your mouse button and physically click on a button. And then other things, you just walk up to it and press F. This is one of the things about Star Citizen that can be kind of frustrating, is the inconsistency with opening up doors throughout the system. This case is just pressing the F button. And you'll see with the elevators, it's a little bit more convoluted, mostly because there's options there. But I prefer a consistent view. So we're going to go down to the elevators. It says take the elevator. So we're going to call the elevator. So here's a case where we can press F, and it's called. You can see where it says called. And so we're going to wait for it to show up. Now, this is a case where you can't just press F because there's multiple things on there. Right, so we're going to hold down the F button, and then if I want to go to floor 6, 5, 4, 3, I can just click on it. In this case, we want to go down to the ground floor, so we're going to click on that. I was holding the F button the entire time there. You move with the WASD keys, and there's a couple places to go. We want to view the area map. So just like in real life, if you're at a mall or something, there is an area map. You can kind of see what's going on here. You can see where you're located, where things are at, so forth and so on. I don't know why it's not updating. There, it's updated. You can also do F1, and you have a number of things on your mobi-glass, so you can see where I've started with 70,000. It should have been 10. I don't know where I got the extra 10 from, but I have 70,000 UEC credits. But there is a map on here. And so you can kind of see this is where I'm at. This is where I came from. I was at these apartments, right? I came down those elevators. And then if you right click and hold, you can move the map around. You can also see where the icon is that I need to head to, where the waypoint is that I need to head to. So it's just right around the corner here. But you can hold down the right mouse button, look around, do stuff. If there's multiple levels, the map can get kind of confusing and whatnot. This is a big place. You can scroll mouse wheel and zoom in and out. Now we're starting to get the building in our way. And then if you left click and hold, then you can rotate the map. And then you kind of get some different angles there. What's funny is they probably physicalized the building up top there, and there's nothing there at that point. And then escape to get out of the mobi-glass. So once it says head to Cubby Blast. So Cubby Blast is over here. This is where you can get ammo and some few other stuff. All right, looks like somebody's dropped something on the ground there. You're going to see this all the time. Star Citizen has this persistent stuff where people just drop stuff. They've used it. They don't need it anymore. They just throw it on the ground. I don't really like it, but that's what they do. All right, so when you want to use the shopping kiosk, I would, off the bat, if you can, you want to search for crews. And there's some foods and drinks. So water will only fix your hydration. And foods will only fix your hunger. Crews is one of those things that if you kind of click on it, I think one of these is hydration. Yeah, this one's hydration and this one's hunger. It actually addresses both. So you can just buy some of this. And I'm going to show you a little trick too. So if we're going to buy, we're just going to buy 2 for now. Normally what I do is I buy a bunch because if I die and I lose them, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to buy, they're out of cruise though. Well, that's no good. Sometimes the inventories are limited, and since 431 just dropped, everybody's been buying cruise, so that's unfortunate. So we won't be buying any cruise here today. But if you can find some cruise, definitely would go ahead and get it. Let's see what they have for sale here. Miscellaneous. Let's get rid of the searching. And yeah, you got water, and you can see here he only affects the hydration, whereas cruise affects both. And then food affects food. So what we'll do is we'll get us a few food. We'll get a couple of drinks here. We'll grab a couple of these. I'm going to grab 10, actually 11. And then I'm going to grab some food. And I don't normally get food. I normally have cruise. So we're just going to get this one that's got 60. We're going to buy 11 of these too. Now it doesn't go to your inventory. The default is your Area 18. And every location, the major locations where there's an inventory available for that location, when you buy stuff, the default is to go to that local inventory stuff. I could have put it right to myself, so you can see here. So I don't have anything that I just bought. It's in my local inventory in this environment. So there are kiosks throughout. And here's one they call storage access. If you walk up to it and press F, then it shows you your stuff on the left-hand side and the things that you bought. Somehow I got this. I don't know what this is, but there's the ready meal that I just bought and the water that I just bought. And you can drag these over. You can right-click and split them and grab a couple and put that on me so I have them ready to drink if I want to. But you can also send it right to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to buy a backpack. Backpack shouldn't be too terribly much. Let's see here. We're going to do armor. It's under armor, backpacks. I should be wearing a light suit here. Yeah, this is light armor. So there's backpacks are medium, heavy, medium, or light. So with this armor that I'm wearing, I can only wear a light backpack. So when we're looking at backpacks, backpack, where you'd have to click it, and this says light backpack. I'm not going to go through a bunch of them. This one's heavy. I couldn't wear that one. So we're going to grab one of these. We just need one. So now we have that. I just want to show you here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to grab them. There's multiple ways to put it on. So now you can see the backpack that I got there. If you double click on it, it'll equip it. So now we equipped it. So now we got more inventory. You can see how much more the core armor and the leg armor. This is 9K, 6K, this is 54K. So it has a lot more room. And then when you're buying stuff, if you don't want to have to go to an inventory kiosk, then let's go buy a little bit. What else do we got here? Weapons. We're not going to deal with buying weapons right now. We'll maybe do that on a different tutorial where we do the first-person shooter stuff. But if you want a pistol, you can go and get it. Let's go ahead and get a little sidearm for us. So let's get not something too terribly expensive. I don't have lots of money, so we're going to get. We'll just get one of these, and we're going to have it go right to our backpack now. So see how it says the backpack. And so when you buy the pistol, we're just going to buy one. Ooh, and then we can go ahead and we can get some ammo with it too. Wait, or does it come with ammo? It comes with ammo. And then if you want ammo, just type for the pistol, LH86. And then we should see some ammo here under attachments. There we go. Pistol magazine. So we're just going to buy just a few of those. We'll buy 6 of those. We won't buy a ton. We don't have tons of money. We don't want to go crazy. And those should have gone right to my backpack. Yes. So pistol, you can drag it and put it somewhere. You can drag it and put it on your hand. Like that. Or actually, you put it on the holster there. And then the ammo, you can drag. You got ammo. Every armor has different types of ammo slots. So we're just gonna put these on here. You can also double click it, as you can see there. And I'm just gonna drag. You can see the dotted ones means that they're full. If half of the dots are gone, that means I've used half of the ammo there, which sometimes happens when you're swapping in and out. I won't be able to draw the pistol out right now, just because it's on Armistice Zone. Armistice Zone, you can't bring out weapons. But we have some ammo with us. We got some water. We don't have any food, so let's grab our food and be ready to go. Your first foray to the verse, I wouldn't worry too much about that after you just complete the tutorial first. I just want to kind of show you this stuff. So let's grab a couple of foods just so we have it. All right. So we got some ammo, we got some food, we're ready to roll. When you die, as of the time of this game, what you have equipped, you will respawn with it. What's inside your equipped items, like the backpacks and the core armors, will not respawn with you. You can go get them if you go back to where you died and loot your body. If somebody else is around, they can loot your body and get it too. So now we've headed out of Cubby Blast. It's telling us to head to the City Flight Transit. It's very much like trying to find where you need to go with an airport terminal. You do have that waypoint here, so they're kind of helping you here, but you can kind of see, you'll see some signs that it says Transit Terminal here in a little bit. So after you follow the waypoints for a little bit here.
Welcome to IO North Tower, Area 18's Premier Centre for Business Development. Please consult any of our associates for help or...
All right, you can see where it says transit platform, so we want to go to the spaceport, basically. And you just follow the signs to it. Now, if you do start in Area 18, don't do what I did. I think on my second play session, see where this says Riker Memorial Spaceport? I accidentally went to the left-hand side. It took me to the convention center. You can still get to the spaceport. You just have to go through an extra stop. And then you're going to have to catch a tram to actually get to the spaceport. If it's not here, it'll tell you how many seconds until it's arriving. You can see it's just now arriving. We walk in, and there's not a whole lot to do while you're waiting. Tram departing in and tell you how many seconds. There's really not a lot to do. You can sit down and wait if you want to. This guy's checking his Moby glass. You can see what kind of armor he's got going on. He's got himself a nice Argo backpack. He's got a little bitty gun and whatnot, and so forth and so on. You can see how many seconds are left until we get there. It says 2 seconds. Wait for the shuttle tram to get there. Go through. Very nice. And you can see the waypoint there is giving you a little bit of staying, but you can also see the hangars, hangar spaceport, which is what we're trying to go to. If you commit a crime, this is one of the places you can pay off your crime. Otherwise, you can get sent to jail. But on the right-hand side is where are the ASOP terminals. This is where you decide what ships you're going to use, so forth and so on. And then the elevators are how you actually get to your actual hangar. So it doesn't matter which one you do. We're going to go to one. It tells us to retrieve the tutorial ship. And this is the key part. So if you start the tutorial, you only have the tutorial ship until you complete the tutorial. This is where you won't see the ships that you normally you had just bought and so forth and so on. So once every patch it starts over, or the first time you bought a ship or whatever, you have to, it's nowhere. It's like physically nowhere, and you have to deliver it to a particular location. So that's the first step, is to deliver it. And it's just a confirmation. Do you want it delivered? So now it's at Area 18, and you might have a bunch of ships in Area 18. You have to say, well, what ship do you want to bring up in your hangar? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to retrieve the Anvil C8 Pisces. This is the tutorial ship. You can see our old man starter, small hangar, and you can even see a little waypoint towards it. It doesn't matter which elevator you take. There's 6 over here, and in Area 18, there's even 6 on this side. The physical hangar is way over there. Looks like it's 719 meters away. So it doesn't matter which one we take. we're going to take... Ooh, I didn't push the button. So we come up to it again, just press F, and you can see it says elevator called. And we're going to come in. And you may see some other options. You want to go to your hangar, so hold F and click your hangar name, and that'll take you to your hangar. All right, so now we have entered our hangar. You should see this is the starter ship, the tutorial ship, and then there's actually an ASUP terminal in your hangar too, so you don't have to exit out to like maybe get a different ship, do something else on there. And then there's also conveniently an inventory kiosk, which is why when I start a play session, once you get some money, I usually buy a bunch of crews and maybe some ammos for the guns that I like, so that I don't have to really go back to the main shopping area. I can just pull it right from my inventory hangar that's in here. And then there's a few different areas. Flight elevators will come into play. You'll actually see that in this play session. Hospital, if you need to get to it, but you won't hardly ever use that. And drone repair is not really something in the game. All right. So, you know, I can just press F. Let's see what this one is. Press F, and it opens up. Sometimes you have to hold F and click on the open button on some of these ships. And some of them, like the Titan, I think, even when you're in here, you're going to see magic floating buttons. So this one I could actually press F, but some of them you won't see actual terminals to click on, and you'll have to just kind of find the magic floating F in the air and then click F. This one happens to have one. You can technically fly with your ass open, but you know, it's okay. You can typically fly with it, but we're not too worried about that. Then you can go to your pilot seat. We're going to hit F to enter. Now, there's lots of ways to control your ship. There are shortcut key commands. There are actual control panel buttons that you can push and so forth. So, the ready button, as it says there, says to turn the ship systems, hold F to find the cockpit's ready button, or press right Alt R. So, there's like multiple ways to kind of get your ship going. You can do what it says. So I can hold the F button down, and then we just look around. You can look and see your ship. You can check it out. Lots of buttons and cool little things. I can turn the engines on. I can do the flight ready. What flight ready does, it does a couple of things. It powers on your ship and turns on your engines. And you can independently, if I press U, I would just turn the power on, and then I can turn the engines on. This kind of does both at once. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn everything back off. So this is just like it was a minute ago. And then another way to do it is, like I said, you can press Alt F. So I'm going to do Alt R, and that'll do the same thing too. Or right Alt R, and that'll do the same thing. And then I'm finally going to show you one last way. If you see in the lower right hand corner, it says turn power on you. So you turn power on. I have power to my ship now. I have shields on and stuff like that. I got guns. But I don't have my engines going. So now you can see the options have turned on to the thrusters. So you press I and your thrusters are on. So flight ready turns both of those on. It's a simple step. Or you can just do power and then I, you know, however you want to do it. But those are the two key things that kind of get going. Then you need to be able to leave your hangar. So it's just telling us, hold F to navigate to the cockpit multifunction display, to the communication screen, and click Hell. Another way you can do it, you can see in the lower right hand corner, if I hold the left Alt and N, that'll do it. But I want to show you the multifunction display because there's a lot of stuff available here. We actually have multiple multifunction displays. So this one actually has 4. And so you can decide, well, this screen I want to show this screen I want to show that, this screen I want to show this, and this one I want to show that. All of them can do the same thing. So here's scanning. So now both of these are doing the scanning mode. This is the configurations where you can turn options on and off. We're not going to get into those. And then you can even see some more options over there. And then communication. So this is what I was talking about, clicking the Hell for Area 18 landing. And power management, which is the same thing that's being shown over here. So you can kind of decide for your ships if you want some different types of things showing. It's got my shields here. It says already there. So you can show different stuff. So we're going to go back to communications, and we're going to click, and then we're still holding down the F button, and then we're going to click the Hell there. And you can see hangar request completed. Spacebar So this one works the similar as moving. WASD moves you around. In addition, Q and E will pitch and roll, and then spacebar will lift you up, and left control will lift you down. So we're going to get up off the ground with the spacebar, and then control will actually lower you back down, and then WASD moves you in those directions, along with Q and E for pitch and yaw. And F4 again, you can take it in and out. So if we let's go ahead and get out of the hangar. I want to show you one last thing when we get here. So we're going nice and slow, and you'll go slow until you bring up your landing gear. That's the new Apollo ship right there, I think. And so we're going to see F4. We still have our landing gear down, and you're going to be slow while your landing gear is down. So you can see in the lower right hand corner, see it says hit N for landing gear. I'm going to do it while in F4 mode so you can kind of see it. So I'm hitting N right now. And you can see your ships now get into really flight mode. All right, so it looks like we have to go to this checkpoint. It's 8.3 kilometers away. So they kind of want to show you different. So this is normal flight mode. So you can go as fast. So ships have two modes, flight modes, SEM and nav mode. SEM is I have on my ships. I'm flying around. I'm doing some combat. I need to slow down and stuff. And I can actually get to here in a decent amount of time, but if I hold the B button down for about a couple of seconds, you can hear it's changing. We're now in nav mode, which basically allows us to go faster. You can see we're going to start going faster. And if you hold shift down, you'll get your boost for a little bit. On this ship, you can see it's 300 millimeters per second, now 330, so forth and so on. And we hit that first waypoint. This is also how you do light speed in this game. They call it quantum speed or quantum travel. So we're going to stay in this mode. So while we're in this mode, we're very vulnerable because we don't have our shields or anything. And then you can see there your slip flight speed. The HUD's left side gauges your speed. To adjust your maximum speed limit, increase the left alt with the mouse wheel or decrease it with left alt and the mouse wheel in a different direction. If you notice, it went from online at the top, so you have to get out of you have to be a certain distance out of atmosphere for a lot of the planets that you're on. Typically, it's around 10 kilometers for planets and maybe 5 kilometers for moons. Orison is a little bit different because it's a cloud city, so you're going to see what it is. But once you're able to light speed or quantum travel, you'll see that it says online. To engage your afterburners while flying, hold left shift, so we'll do that. So I think we got another waypoint over here. There we go. All right, so now we got a quantum. So now we got to do basically the light speed of Star Citizen. So normally what you do is when you're in nav mode, you can jump to different points. So this one we could jump to a space station called Bikini Point. You just center your mouse onto it there, and then once you see that left-hand side and everything says ready, left click and engage, and you're gonna boom zoom. We went 200 meters, 200 megameters there really quick. Now we're 24 kilometers away. You can go in nav mode up till you get a little bit close, but you don't want to be in nav mode when you get really close, because then you're going to be going too fast. You'll crash into the space station and die, and you'll just have to respawn. So we're going to hit B. You'll slow down immediately when you go from nav mode to SCM mode. So I hold down the B button again, and that put me into regular SCM mode. So you can see I'm going a lot slower. So it wants us to get here, and just like we did, it wants us to request a hangar, so we can hit left alt N, or we can go and hold here, and we held Bikini Point. Don't worry about cargo. That's for a very special ship, the Hull C. You can do this, or you can just do left alt N. We'll go ahead and do this. And if it works fine, it says hangar request. Sometimes you'll see a queue if there's a lot of traffic going on. For small ships, the hangars are on the inside. For some of the bigger ships, they're on the outside ring there. So we're just going to kind of ease on over here. One key is when you lower your landing gear, you'll slow down quite a bit. So normally what most people do is they'll kind of get up close and then kind of hit N and get the landing gear. Then they'll slow down there.
Landing gear deployed.
Yeah, I wasn't really seeing our landing gear, so we're just going to kind of ease on here. I am not the greatest flight person in the game. We're just going to ease on in. Now, there's a little bug where even though you don't get hit, they act like you get hit when you come in and out of hangars. See, right there. I did not hit the hangar doors. All right, we're going to line on up, and then we're going to hold left control and lower on in.
Landing.
And voila. So now we're here. Ship flight landing. Exit the pilot seat. We're almost done with the tutorial. Normally you turn your ship off and stuff. In fact, I'll go ahead and I'll show that. If you store your ship, it doesn't matter whether you left it on or not. But again, we're going to just press I to turn the engines off, and then we're going to press U to power it off completely. But if you're storing your ship, it doesn't really matter, and we're going to be storing it here in a second. All right, we're going to come out here in the back. There it is. We're going to come up, press F to open the door. Very good. Now come on out here. All right, we've exited the sheet, and the tutorial is not updating. Oh yeah, it's telling me in the right-hand side in the middle it says to exit the sheet, and the upper part is telling us to store the ship. So again, we can go to the kiosk, and then we hit F, and we're going to go see the tutorial ship. Just click store. Watch it go down. Check your journal. F2 or F1 and then click journal. I'm used to clicking F2 because it takes me right to the map. And there's all the stuff that I just done. You can read through these, get some more information. My very first play session, I actually spent this time and read through all this stuff. It's good information. And then we're going to close this out. And the tutorial should be done. And I should have got some money out of that too. So actually, yeah, even if you don't, I forgot, even if you don't get the referral bonus extra credit, the starter mission, the tutorial mission is worth about 50K, I think. I think it is 50K. In fact, if we go to journal and contracts maybe? Yeah, it's worth 40K. So this is where all the tutorial stuff. So on the contracts, history. So offers of contracts are available. Ones are currently accepted in history. I just completed these. This last one was worth 40K. So even with the basic ship and then doing the tutorial, you're going to be right around 50K or so, which is enough to do what we want to do. So I'm going to show you a way to get into the game, an easy way to make some good quick credits without having to worry about combat and stuff like that. We'll do a separate tutorial with combat. But if you're not big into combat, you can do this. So we're going to rent this ship that's called the Hull A. It's the cheapest hauler in the game. It's called the Hull A. Let's see what it looks like here. Yeah, there it is right there. It's got the most, so the amount of cargo you can carry, they call it SCU. So this ship is a fairly cheap ship that can hold 64 SCU. That'll allow us to do more missions. So you can buy the ship outright with 1.7 million credits, which really, once you see what I do here, you're going to see that's not hard to do. Or you can even rent this ship at different locations for 34 credits a day, 34,000 credits, which we have plenty now. We got over 100,000. We have over 100,000. And it's usually the cargo center, the major orbital stations, which is we're on one of the major orbital stations. So we're going to do that. We're going to run a Hull A. So before we rent the Hull A, I'll just show you. So the contracts here, there's different types you got in the games. Wickelow's a little bit more advanced. You get into this. We're going to do the hauling contract. We're going to do the initial independent ones, the Covalex one. make both of these take us to Riker Memorial. We could probably do both. Yeah, with the whole A, we could do both of these ones at the same time. Collections, don't worry about. Mercenary, so if you wanted to do combat, you could do some mercenary missions. Investigation, this is just a new PvE type location. Salvaging, you need a salvage ship to be able to do this. And bounty hunting is just shooting either another player or an NPC. We'll get into those into the other tutorial. But in the mercenary one. So if you wanted to do combat instead of hauling to kind of get started into the game, mercenary and bounty hunters are the way that you want to go. We're going to do hauling. And we're going to go ahead and just grab these both. We're going to grab both of them. Offers, hauling. We're just going to go ahead and grab both. Also, now that the tutorial is over, we can see our ship that we bought to play the game. So there it is. There's my Mustang Alpha. So we're going to leave our hangar. We'll press F to call the elevator. All right, we're going to go to the lobby. We're going to hold F and press lobby. And then, again, you know, the space stations aren't as big as the main spaceports that we started at. But most of them have like an initial area where the hangars are at. And then there will be a elevator take us to some different stuff. We're interested in the cargo area. So we're going to press F. And the Galleria is where you can do some shopping and stuff. Hangars and Habs is where we're at. We're going to the cargo center. This is where we rent the ship. So we're going to go over here. There's going to be a little rental kiosk. There it is. You can see it says rentals. And we're going to click F. And you're going to see a bunch of the ships you can rent. What we're interested in is this whole A. So you can see we have 106. We're going to go to 34. Make sure that you have the time to do a few missions so that you don't waste your money because it will be gone in a day. So now this will be on my A sub terminal. So we rented a whole A. But then we're going to need one more thing. We're going to want what's called a Maxlift. It's a tractor beam. There's different ways to go about doing this. You can get what's called a multi-tool. And there's different attachments for it. This one allows you to do, I guess, some scraping. I've never actually used this, but it's cutting stuff up. Mining, or a tractor beam. This tractor beam isn't as powerful as this Maxlift one. I use this. You can use the Pyro multi-tool and the tractor beam to do what we're going to do. I just prefer the Maxlift. We're just going to do a quick buy. And again, that's just going to be in my Bikini Point inventory. You can see it. We're going to drag it onto our backpack there, so it's available. You can't pull it out for now to use because this is an armistice zone. And we can't have nice things because people would move stuff and hit people with them. All right, so we're going to head back to the hangars and Habs. If your hangar is still there, which you can check and see, you can go into here. And it might not be. Your home hangar is almost always available. So my home hangar is at Area 18 where I started. Anywhere else is a temporary hangar. If you can scroll, so my hangar is still there. If it's there, I like to go to my hangar and then call my ship up. So now we should see two ships.
Welcome to the ASOP.
Yeah, the whole A that we rented, and we have 23 hours and 57 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and deliver him. We're going to request delivery. All right. So now it's here at Bikini Point, and then we're going to retrieve it, and it'll come on up. Then the way that you move cargo in this game is it's telling us we need to pick up cargo. So the mission will tell you. Contract. So we got 2 accepted missions here. This one is from Bikini Point to Riker Memorial, Area 18. That's the name of the spaceport. And then this one's also Bikini Point. So both of these are going to be available to take. So if we complete both, we're going to get another we're going to get 96K. So we're already starting to rake in some of the money. So you're going to see, so our ship is up now. You're going to see, if you go to the freight elevator, so this is the freight elevator. So we send freight up and down the freight elevator. There's a terminal usually nearby to manage the freight elevator. So we press F. The left-hand side is what's on the elevator, and the right-hand side is what's in that inventory's location. So in this point is Bikini Point, which it actually has a few things. It should have, we're going to go ahead and lower the freight elevator so you can see it lowering. And then we could transfer stuff from the location inventory to here. So you can see our two missions, right? So we got this mission and we got that mission. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring those all over and then bring it up into the freight elevator. Sometimes it can be a little bit slow. And so now it's coming up. Now I could... well, the whole A is a little bit different. It's a special ship. So I can't really put the cargo on it. I have to go into the ship and open up the cargo things. It's just a little bit different ship. And even if I already had it, you usually can save yourself time by moving the ship up closer to where the cargo's at. But we need to get into the ship anyway, because where we store the cargo, you're going to see it has to transform itself. So this one, how do we get into the whole A? I don't remember how to get in the whole A. It's been so long. Surely it's not this side, is it? Oh, no. You can see the ladder. See how it says ladder? I think it's on this side. Yeah, there's the ladder. So you can see sometimes there's those little funky things. All right, enter ship. So this is one of those older ships where you got to find the magic floating button in the air. Would it be this button? No. It would make sense to do that button. You have to find the magical floating F. Click F. And then you're going to see this ladder kind of pop out. If you're nearby, it'll automatically make you go up in it. All right, so now we're in the ship. It closes automatically. We're going to get over to the cockpit. We're going to get in it. Most of the ships aren't like this. The whole C, the whole A, they have a special mode to be able to take in cargo. So we're going to go ahead and turn the ship on. We're going to turn the thrusters on. And we're going to lift up off the ground just a little bit because we're going to be moving. So you can see, I want to show you this. So we're going to keep the landing gear down, but we're going to hit Alt-K. We're going to hit Alt-K. And you're going to see now it's going to extend. The nose are going to rotate. And they're basically going to open up these little cargo grids that we can slap cargo onto. And this is where you can get the 64 SCU. And then the other thing we're going to do, so we're going to just kind of make it nice and easy. So we're just going to come over here. If I was just doing one side, I wouldn't do it this way. I would just have one side facing it. But I think we're going to need both sides. I think we could do just one side. So we're just going to do this, actually. We're just going to make it so it's right there, nice and easy. Then we're going to lower them up and put them on the ground. Oops. There we go. So now it'll be a lot easier. I like turning my engine off just to make sure it's stable. I'll keep the power on just so it has shields. But we're in our hangar. We're in no threat of being attacked. But there are cases where you'll be out and about in the wild that you want to have your shields on. All right, so we're going to hit F to open up. Again, it's going to go through. We're going to hit F to exit. And it's going to go through this animation. I think it'll force me. Yeah, force me to go down. Okay. So now we're ready to start loading up the cargo into our ship. There's a little bitty grid you're going to see here. So if you have a gun or any kind of thing equipped, 1, 2, 3, 4 are the buttons that'll get them to come up. So I'm going to press 1 because I'm only having a Maxlift. If I had a gun and a Maxlift, 1 might be the gun and 2 might be the Maxlift. So you're just going to point at it, left click, and then let go of it. And you can see now we've got a hold of it. The mouse wheel, scrolling it, will move it back and forth. And then holding R will kind of rotate it and stuff like that. Sometimes you got to do some positions here. But generally, once you're real close to the area here, You can see how it's highlighting, and that's at the end, and then you just press it again, and it snaps right on. Left mouse button. We're going to do these first, and we're just going to put them up on here, and snapped on. Bottom here, and so now we're all loaded up, we're ready, so we got to head back to Area 18. Where we want to go is Area 18. Since we know we're going to Area 18, I can do it a couple ways. I can hit F2 and then just type in area 18 here. And then click it and click this. It'll create a route for me so that when I go into quantum mode or nav mode, that's the only thing that'll show that I need to be able to go to. Another way, especially if you're doing missions, is on the right hand side, you can see my mission here, and I can click deliver shipment, and then it's going to take me to it. Sometimes it'll say invalid target, sometimes it doesn't. I know that I'm going to Area 18, so we're just going to type in Area 18. And then we're going to click route. And the game is buggy right now. We're going to press B. We set our route. And so now this is the only thing. Before I set the mission, there would have been a bunch of waypoints. I should have shown that first. So we're going to go quantum back down to Area 18. We just happen to know that the spaceport, Riker Memorial, is at Area 18. So now we need to jump again. As long as you aren't within, like, I think 30 kilometers or so, you can jump to it. So we're going to get in here. We're going to jump again. Sometimes you have to jump multiple times. Now, the major cities, Lauraville, New Babbage, Orison, and Area 18, they don't necessarily tell you exactly where to go. In this case, because my delivery shipment is literally Riker Memorial, and it's not a cloudy day, it's not hard to tell where the spaceport is. See those three dot flashing lights there, those three flashing lights? Those are usually what you're looking for the spaceport. I promise you, there are times you're going to approach some of these places, and it's going to be real hard to know where you're going. And so it's just something you got to kind of learn. This today, we're having a great view of the city, and it's not hard to see. But the spaceport for Area 18 is this long strip like this. So you can see everywhere else there's cities and lights and buildings and whatnot. You want to head towards that direction. And you won't always be coming in from the same area. But you're looking for the lights, and you're looking for that big long strip. So we're going to get a little bit closer. We're going to stay in nav mode because we fly faster in nav mode. I usually get about 9 kilometers in, then get out of quantum mode or nav mode. I call it quantum mode because that's what it is. All right, we get a little bit closer here, and you can see some of the hangar doors and stuff there to the right and to the left. So those are some hangars. I think those are mediums maybe, and this is a large, I believe. We're just going to get a small, so we're going to hit Alt in again. Let's see if we can get a hangar. If you're not close enough, just get closer, and you'll eventually get a hangar. And we're going to just zoom on in here. All right, so we're gonna land. I normally just go ahead and land, then hit F4 and get myself positioned. So the freight elevator we can see over here is right here. So we're just gonna do the same thing again. We're just gonna get it nice and close. All right. Because that's where we gotta deliver it. We pick it up from the freight elevator, we take it to a freight elevator. F4, we're gonna do I. All right, while we're on this side, we're going to hit 1 to bring our Maxlift off. We're going to go ahead and grab these. Looks like we can squeeze it through right there, so we're going to go ahead and just get them on that side for us. All right, we'll grab that one. All right. And then once you got all your stuff in there, hit R, hold down R like 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds, and you'll get rid of your Maxlift. You'll have it back onto your backpack there. And then come up to the freight elevator manager. And there's everything. And since this is my home area, you can see the other stuff that I have here, like some paints that I bought. There's those water bottles, the food that I bought. We're just going to lower it. If you've done the mission right, these will all be green. So we had 2 missions. We have 7 1SEUs, and then 4 SU boxes, 1 2SU box, and 1 1SU box. We'll lower that, and then the mission will complete, and now we got some more money. So we've already made the money back of the whole A that we rented. So at this, and plus some more. So at this point, any extra money we make with the whole A is just it's just bonus money. So after that, you can actually do quite a few missions. So let's go ahead and look and see what we got here. So now you've done the starter ones. If you go to contract, those are all completed, and you can see our money's increased. Go to offers and hauling, small grade. So they got these 2 categories. And then supply grade. And I haven't looked at these in a while. They used to be 50Ks. All the 50K ones, what we're looking for is the ones at Bikini Point, the Riker Memorial. If you happen to start at Orison, I think it's Seraphin to whatever Orison's hangar spaceport is, and so forth. So the 4 major starting areas usually has a space station that's right above it, and there's usually cargo missions that are to and from there. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're the 50K ones. In this case, there's 4 of them. And see, this one's a different point. It's Virginia Point to there. It just takes a lot of time. You got 2 locations to go to. Virginia Point and 2 locations. And Virginia Point and Riker Memorial. That's the one we want. We're going to grab all of the ones that are Virginia Point to Riker Memorial. So here's the other one. Grab that. That's 4. Used to be 6 of them. You used to be able to do 7 of them. But then you got to be careful because you have more than 64 SCU. You won't be able to put it all in one trip. So you do need to make sure you don't get too many if there are more available. But I think with 4 missions, we won't be anywhere near it. And it's always the 50K ones that are to the, you can see they're all Virginia Point to Riker Memorial. Virginia Point to Riker Memorial. I think that's all the 50Ks. You can check them all, but you're going to see these are all to somewhere else. They're just different locations. And then supply grade ones. Oh, we could. So this one's going from Riker Memorial to Virginia Point. This is 86 SU. We couldn't do this one because our ship is not big enough. If our ship was big enough to haul this, we didn't do this on the return track. Like this one's 51. We could actually do this set, but we couldn't do this one, for example. And you need to do both to complete it. 90. Like you're not with the whole A, you're probably not going to be able to do any of the supply grade ones. You have to stick with the small grade ones. All right, so we got 4 missions. So this right off the bat, if we do this, it's another 200K. You can just pound these out. Like I said, you know, a few patches ago, used to be 6 of these missions, sometimes 7 of them. You can get 300, 350. It takes you about 30 minutes to do them. If you're super quick, you can do them in 15 minutes. But just kind of casually doing your starting out. So this is 9, 6. They're all less than 10. So this is less than 40 SEU. So we're good to go. So we need to head back up. Pilot and Star Citizen. That's why I like to do some of this stuff. All right, I'll go ahead and lower. That way the hangars can start closing. And you do have a certain amount of time you need to get into your hangar. So that just make sure you get that all done. And we're going to load up both of them. We're probably going to definitely be loading up both of them. So we're just going to, now we're going to angle our ship this way. And you can kind of see, oops, I meant to do this. Z, and then we're going to, there we go. So it looks like we're good lined up. And then we'll just lower it right down. F4, turn engines off. I just like my engines off so my ship's not like going crazy, flying around. We're all loaded up. Hold the R button to get rid of your Maxlift. Put it back on your backpack. Come over to the hangar here. The ladder. Enter. Find the map. And there we go. Nice, quick, easy 200K. Lower this down. Everything's green. All 4 missions are green. Confirm. And you should see pop up here in a minute. It tells us that the mission's completed. There it goes. 1's completed. 2's completed. 3 is completed. And 4 is completed. I'll leave you with one last trip. So if you do get your cruise, you need your helmet off. You can take it off any number of ways. This is the way I do it. So pretend this is cruise. We're going to take a water bottle here, put it in my hand. And, oop, hold on, this works. That needs to be the backpack. So we're going to put the other one there. So as long as you have 2 that are both 100%, if you drink it all, so you can see our hydration go up. All right. Now let's just drink it all. Let's go ahead and drink it all. We'll drink it all. We'll empty it out completely. All right, so it's empty. And then if you just right click and store it, there's a little bug in Star Citizen's been going on for a long time that if you have a stack of 100, it'll go right into it. So it's a great way to do food. I don't know of any foods you can do this with because once you eat it, it's consumed, so there's nothing to store. But let's go ahead and eat this one. But if you get cruise, which takes care of both hunger and hydration, yeah, it just disappears. There's nothing to store. Okay. But get yourself some cruise, and then you don't have to worry about having to do a bunch. I think we can lower this. This is fine. So our hangar edge is right there. Yeah, so we don't need to move the ship to lower it. We're going to go ahead and lower it.
Welcome to the ASOC vehicle retrieval system. Your vehicle
And there you go. That's a great way to get started in the Star Citizen.
Please visit us again.
Get yourself some quick, easy bucks to go do some other stuff and start adventuring out into the verse. I should have more money than this. Oh, sometimes this is cool. So there we go. 2 of them. These completed. Wait, it didn't complete. It didn't complete any of them. So sometimes they don't complete. You can go ahead and submit them. Just be careful that if you don't have more than 50% of the cargo returned, then you will lose some reputation and lose a lot. We don't really have much reputation. So we're going to head submit these. That one's submitted. There we go. So now we got some more money. Sometimes that happens. We're going to submit this one. Now we got 250. And then we're going to submit this one. Now we got 300K. And then submit this one. Normally it auto submits. This is the first time I've seen this in a long time. It has happened before. So now our missions are completed. And this is what we've done today. We've done the tutorial. We've done the starting hauling missions. And then we did 4 starting missions. We've got 350K. We're ready to start making our way into the universe. So hope you enjoyed this game. And I do. Look forward to your universe. Come by and watch my streams. Always noob friendly. You got questions? I'm here to help you.